Hello. Right, let's have another look at another strong, slow, probably short practice. I always seem to do these videos when I'm already warm. And so today I'm not warm. If anything, I'm probably a little bit stiff. I have actually been for quite a long walk, but it was a chill walk. You know, it wasn't anything too exuberant. So I'm starting as cold as most people following this video would be. It is a strengthening, always strengthening practices. So I would say, why not push a little bit into strength? Never pain, always strength. Yeah, let's just see how this one goes. So we're going to start lying down today because what I want is to layer up and come towards the breathing exercises that really do emphasize abdomen, so that when we come to doing the stronger abdominal work, which will feature bow pose today, core strength work, you've got the breathing in place for that. And of course, there's going to be 4,000 wardrobe failures and that probably fall out of some postures, because remember, still dealing with pain and instability. So there's always an element of take it as it comes. We're pretty real in this garage, still called the garage, even though it's a studio. So yeah, on your back, lie down. Be comfortable. Let's just keep the feet flat on the floor with the knees bent. We're going to keep the hands can stay away from the body, or if you do want to track the breath, you can put your hands on your belly. I know a lot of people feel very uncomfortable about putting their hands on their bellies, and I think it's a self-conscious feeling. Oh, hey, you know what? You're in your own room. It's safe to put your hands on your belly and to not feel discomfort. It's really your choice anyway. So we're not going to spend ages in stillness. We want to build some heat. So let's spend a bit of time first, just have a wiggle around. You can see I'm doing lots of fidgeting. I always fidget a lot in my practice. I think it's, for a lot of us, it's asking a bit much for always wanting stillness, but when stillness comes, it comes of its own accord. I just let myself fidget, it's fine. So much fidgeting as you need. Make sure you feel really comfortable. Make sure your spine feels long, back of the neck is long. Big breath out. So just have a couple of big breaths in. Lift in the abdomen when you breathe in, and exhale out. Let it all go, just let it all go. You take as long as you need with your breathing. If you need to take longer, take longer. We're just going to intensify this breathing now. So now I'm bringing my feet close to my body because I want a bit more traction with the feet. I'm going to pick up my hips, roll the tailbone under, flatten out my lower back. So the reason I'm flattening out my lower back is because I'm going to work with my abdomen. This is not a natural position for a back. A lumbar region should have a bend, should have a deep an arch in it. Flattening it down because I don't want my back to work, I want my abdomen to work. Hands are just going to stay here on the lower belly, they don't have to be here. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, press down and push up with your hands to scoop your belly inwards and upwards towards your rib cage. Squeeze your pelvic floor inwards and upwards, press the feet down, and then inhale, relax. Exhale, pulling everything inwards and upwards from the pelvic floor, all the way up through the abdomen, into the rib cage, and inhale to relax. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And inhale. Lift your hips this time. Exhale, squeeze. Lift the hips a little bit, doesn't have to be very high. I'm only going as high as my hips will let me. Exhale, inhale, lower the hips. Exhale to lift, squeeze, pulling inwards, in towards the spine, reaching, firming up the belly. Inhale to relax. 2 more. Exhale, see slow. I've actually done this quite fast, but as you exhale, you can lift slowly, slowly, slowly. You'll feel the intensity build. Inhale to lower down, so the course of the breath. Let's do another one, and then we'll do another set of 4. Exhale, lift, lift, lift slowly. So just practice that slower lift. And then inhale to lower down, and the speed is obviously going to depend on your length of your breath, but really you want your breath to be reasonably long. So take a little pause. Let's do a set of 4, and we'll go slowly. Let's chat from me. So as you exhale, pull the belly in, lift slowly. 3, 2, 1. Hold for a beat. Inhale, lower down carefully. So remember, this isn't back bending, this is lifting, lowering, engagement in the abdomen. Exhale, 3, 2, 1. Hold, squeeze, and inhale down. Obviously, you can do all of this at your own pace. 2 more. Exhale, squeeze, lift. 3, 2, 1. Press up. Knees are stable. Inhale down for the last one. Go slowly, go intentionally. Make sure those knees stay absolutely stable. Press into the feet. Exhale, squeeze, lift. 3, 2, 1. Hold. Keep breathing. Release. Okay, so you might be feeling some heat now from the knees all the way up to the shoulders. Let's have a little loose hug. So not going to hug too tightly. Want to keep some of that heat in, but also want to massage out the lower back. We're going to do a little bit more heat building. So we're going to do some of our traditional lying on your back abdominal exercises. I love the lying on the back ones. They do really get to the abdomen very quickly. I think it works quite well. So left leg down, arms out wide, lengthen up the right leg. Remember, if you need to back off, you can bend the right leg as well. If you want to intensify, I find pointing the toe intensifies. You can also lengthen out the left leg, but we're quite cool. So I would say if you lengthen out your left leg, you're going to strain your lower back. So pick up your hips a little bit, turn the tailbone a little bit under, make sure your lower back is supported. This is using your abdomen to lower the leg. So using your leg as a weight for your abdomen. So I'm going to put my toes, and I'm going to count the way down. So it's on an exhale, squeeze the belly in. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale to lift. Slowly, at your own pace. And exhale to lower. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Just to a hover. Lift. 5, inhale. 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. At your own pace, at your own time. Should feel some work. We're going to do 3 more at your own pace. Remember, exhaling to lower, belly firm. No work really anywhere in the body except perhaps the leg a bit, but mostly abdomen. Depending on how strong you are, you might find that it's not so much heat as priming, or you might find that it's absolutely devastatingly hard. And if you are, I suppose the advantage of finding this really, really hard is that you will feel the difference. If you do this consistently, you will really quickly notice your strength building. If you find these things easy, then don't worry. The more you layer up, the harder it gets. Let's switch sides when you've finished your 3. So we'll put the right foot down, lengthen up the left leg. I'll count us for the first round. So pick your version of events, pull the belly in, make sure the lower back is down. You're breathing through all of this. As you exhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. At your own pace, 3 more rounds. Exhaling to lower, inhaling to raise. I actually go a little bit more slowly than I count, because I like to feel the burn. So there's an element of trying to find it, because the warmer I get, the harder I'm able to work. When I'm cold, I find it very hard to find the energy. So I always am aware how much work it feels like. I'm always aware that if I can get that work happening really, really well, like really strongly, then I'm much better positioned to enjoy the strength work. It starts to feel really good. Okay, last one finished. Knees bent. Let's bring them back in towards the chest. Really good. So hopefully you got a sense of how fast you need to work in order to make it both manageable and having that strength, that sense of effort running through the body. I'm going to do dead bugs now, my favorite one. So it's legs and arms with this one. You can leave out arms if you don't want to do them. You could just do those leg lifts again. We're going to do, let's do 5 on each side. So it's going to be lowering the left leg and the right arm, and then right leg, left arm. Just work at your own pace. As you exhale, the belly's pulling in. As you exhale, left leg, right arm. Left leg down to a hopper, right arm back. Remember, the legs can be bent. Then inhale to center, 5 on each side. Exhale. It's going to take a while, so, settle in. You don't have to do 5. You can do as many as you want. 2. 3. 4. 5. Last set, 5. And if you're going super slowly, torture slowly, carry on, no rush. When you get to center, of course, knees to chest, another rock and roll. And if you want to go a little bit more tightly this time, you can properly hug your legs right in and good old tight squeeze. Make sure the shoulders still stay down, head stays down, a good squeeze and a rock. This rock does not feel great actually on my upper back, so I'm going to loosen this up a little bit. Option for some curl ups if you enjoy them. So you can have your hands loosely bound around your shins. As you exhale, squeeze your belly in, knees and head come together, tight little ball. Inhale down. Exhale, squeeze. Inhale down. 3 more, exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Last one, let's hold. Exhale, squeeze. Hold, breathe. It's tight, tight, tight. You should feel heat in your abdomen. Yes, there's some effort, there's some effort. Not huge amounts of effort, but effort. You can feel that heat building. Shoulders are not too hunched. And release before your neck tenses up. Arms overhead, stretch the legs out. If you were still doing your dead bugs, you should be done by now, unless you're going absolutely tortuously slowly. Reach, 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 reach back. Let's have banana stretch. Left wrist and right hand, left ankle over right. Shuffle your upper body, not too far, just a little bit over to the right, just so that the left side of the body feels long. You can take legs over a bit as well. Have a deep breath, and as you breathe in, imagine you are expanding the whole of the left side of the body. Exhale to relax. Let it all go. We're still keeping heat in. We've got a lot more to do yet. We can feel really good. Hopefully what we've done so far is a good start. Lovely. Shuffle to center. Shuffle the legs back to center as well. Switch sides, wiggle. Wiggle over to the other side, go lightly, go gently. Nice big breaths. Lovely, one more. Alrighty then. Alrighty then, just wiggle to center, knees in, one more time, loosely. I'm just gonna have a little rock. And you've got 2 options. If you like these rocks, you might be able to come straight up to seated, and you might be able to come straight up into boat pose. And I often try it, but it doesn't often work. So you can come all the way up onto your sitting bones. You might be able to come into boat. I don't like rocking into boat pose because the posture is rarely good. So I really don't, it's nice to do balletic transitions, but for me, you normally end up compromising the posture in order to do the fancy transition. So I'm just going to come to seated. If you're sitting in boat pose, check. Do you feel open through the front of your body? Are you just doing it because you got there? Are you starting to get tired because I'm talking you to death? That was the intention. Put your feet down if you are hovering in boat pose. Have a little stretch if you need to. Otherwise, we're going to sit upright like this. Okay, knees are either hip distance apart, or your feet can be together if you want to. Hands are underneath the thighs. Let's have a few rounds of cat-cow first. So let's inhale. Lift the heart, lift the tailbone. I am sitting on my sitting bones. I can feel them pressing into the ground. Exhale, round the spine, tailbone, bow the head and reach back. Inhale to open. Cow pose. Exhale to round, cat. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. And for those very, very few lucky people who come to my community classes, sometimes you get sound effects. It's bad. It's really bad. I do a cow mooing sound that sounds a lot like cow and partridge, and the cat hiss just sounds like a cat. But it's because it's interesting to remember. It's easier to remember if you have sound effects. So the way to think of it is that cat pose is like an angry cat arching its back, which doesn't make sense in this version, but it does on the All Force version. Anyway, here we are. Come to neutral, finish off. Nice and central, bow pose. So feet rest on the floor. I tend to vary whether my knees are together or wide. I just experiment. We want to stay open through the back. So when you reach back, you are going to end up with a little hunch, but the energy is open in boat pose. It's not a rounding. If you find that you tend to roll backwards, it can be useful to put either a block or a cushion or something to just support your lower back, or you can sit a little bit against a wall. It takes away some of the heat, but if you're rolling back, then there's no heat involved. Remember, boat pose is not really, there is a balance involved, but if you balance too much on your bum, then you're going to lose the heat. So just see how you go. Hands can hold on to the bottoms of the thighs. Let's start there. Hold on loosely to the thighs. Shoulders back, chest lifted, reach back. Now I need to take my legs a little bit wider. Nice and tall, belly is pulling in and breathing into the chest. I'm just going to lift one leg, lower it down. When we layer up like this, boat pose becomes quite hard. So just keep moving in this way. If you find that you're comfortable with it, you can release your hands. Chest stays open. You take your breaths and breathers when you need them. First variation, building strength, thighs, core, whole body toning, really a lot of this, there's a lot of tone going through the whole body. If you're able to, pick up both legs, hold, breathe. You can be holding on. You see I'm leaning back, but I'm still, my spine is really long. Feel it in the abs. And release. Let's have a little breather. I know some people can just hang around in boat pose all day, and I would argue you do need to question and check whether your boat pose posture is correct, because it really shouldn't be easy. There's always a certain amount of focus that has to go into a posture like boat pose, because even if your core is strong enough, let's pop back in, you still have to focus. Lift, lift, and hold, breathe. You might be able to lengthen a little bit. This is where I start to roll backwards a lot of the time. This is strengthening your hip flexors. You do this, thighs as well. Keep breathing. Doesn't matter whether your knees are bent or lengthened, you can play. I'm always fidgeting, always. Effort is there. Release, feet to the floor, knees wide, extend forward. So I'm enjoying boat pose, but I have to really dial it back because of my current sort of healing with my back and my hips and things like that. So I really love the heat of a good boat pose practice, even though historically I've been known to hate it. I really have sworn the room blue doing boat pose, but you know, I love it. It's a really good way of getting strong. Okay, we'll do another round. Any variation, so stick with the one that is the right amount of effort for you, where you don't roll over backwards. So you can keep your feet absolutely on the floor, reach back, pull your belly in. Can you see? You saw me suck my belly in. That on its own is plenty of work. Shoulders can stay relaxed, chest can stay lifted. So this is plenty of work. And for most people, if you stay here long enough, you are going to start feeling it. So that is enough. If it stops you from rolling over, stick with it. Then you can practice lifting, lowering. Awesome. Any of the variations we've done subsequently. This next one, let's see, I'm not sure. I'm going to try my best, and if I can't do it, then I will tell you what to do. So you lift into boat and hold. Just get your balance, get your energy, eyes forward, arms just ahead of you, palms down, pull the belly in. As you exhale, lengthen away. Now some people can get their feet nearer the ground. I can't go that low at the moment because I'm preparing, I'm looking after myself. So as you exhale, lengthen the legs, spine closer to the ground, lift. So I'm never lying down. Inhale, exhale as you lengthen, inhale as you lift. Exhale, inhale, ooh, shake. Exhale, inhale, I'm going to pause, hold on. I mean, if you're not feeling the burn, carry on. If you're not feeling it, carry on. So with this one, I like to keep the heat in. At this point, I'm just hugging my knees in with my feet floating, so I'm going to keep this heat. I love how hard that is. If you've never done that before, if you can do boat, chances are you can do that. But I actually had to teach my body that it could do it first. It took me a few goes before I was like, oh, okay, I get it. The effort is in your abdomen, not in your back or your shoulders or your neck. And you don't have to go so far. You could be pulsing. So let's try again, back into boat. See, my boat is quite tight because I just, at the moment, I don't have the stability to open it up. Exhale, lengthen. Inhale. So you could be doing feet flat on the floor, lifting and lowering, one leg at a time. Can you see, as the heat is building, my movement's getting a little bit more secure. Last one, exhale. Inhale, squeeze. If you're an Ashtangi or you can do some of those little lifts, you could cross your legs, press into your hands and lift. I can't do that. And my arms are not long enough and I can't bind my legs and I don't think I've got the strength. It doesn't matter, but you can do that if you want to. Certainly at the moment, my strength is not at full whack. Come back in time. Lovely. One last practice in boat pose, if you haven't had enough. Let's bring your feet back down and square off. This for me is very hard at the moment, but I'm going to do my best. So feet are going to be a little way apart. Reach back, hands to the heart, chest lifted. And this is for abdomen, obliques. Belly pulls in, exhale and rock to the side. See if you can touch the floor with your elbow. I can't always. Exhale to the side. Bring your knees rock. I always let my knees rock. I can still feel it. Side to side. Okay, it's quite slow. If you're comfortable with that, if that's okay, you can do that. And yeah, let your knees rock if you want to, but it should still feel like effort in your abdomen, your obliques, your sides. You can try doing it in boat pose. So let's have a look. Lift the legs, get comfortable, and do this much more quickly. Exhale, inhale. Exhale, inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Last one, 5. And squeeze. You can just bring your feet down if you want to. I quite like this little squeeze here. Oh, I can feel that. So we're going to do a round of wipers. We can lie down or be seated. Let's be seated. Let's keep the heat in. I would like to do another set of those. You can leave them out or you can keep your feet down. But we're going to just release some tension in wipers first. So feet wide, knees wide. You can lie on your back with your arms wide, or you can just rest here on your arms or your elbows. I'm just going to roll the knees from side to side. This is quite intense, isn't it? Like for a practice that involves absolutely no flinging, no gymnastics, just small, hot, strong, slow movements. Isn't it funny how much of yoga starts to sound like porn? I don't think that's the sort of thing many yoga teachers say, is it? I don't know. I don't know what yoga teachers say. Okay, rolling from side to side. This feels nice. This feels really good. Let's come back to boat, navasana. One of the memorable Sanskrit names because of navasana, navy, sea, boat. It's just easier to remember than the other ones. Right, back to center. Should we try those little sideways movements again?
you can leave these out if it's not working for you, or you can do any kind of side crunching or twist. If you don't want to do more strengthening on your obliques, you could just lie down on your back in boat and hold your twists for a few breaths on each side. Let's do another 5. It doesn't matter whether your feet are down or up, hands to heart, reach back, pull your belly in, very important. If you roll over and fall on your side, just have a laugh, it's all good. Let's lift. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it. Take a deep breath in. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, I've got room for another few. 6 and 7. Last one. Release. Feet together. Nice big diamond, and as you exhale, reach forward, 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 forward. Hug your toes if you want, or place your hands anywhere that's comfortable. Nice long spine, then let it curl when you get most of the way down. Bow the head. Relax. Nice. Let's open up. Take the legs wide, a little bit wider. Stay nice and tall. Bring the palms of your hands together ahead of you. Bring both sets of hands to the inside of your right leg. On an inhale, open up, take the left arm back, gaze back over the shoulders. This is quite strong. Stay tall. That left shoulder, try not to let it pull up toward your ear. Back to center. Other side, both sets of hands, palms together against the inside of the left leg. Open up the right arm. Nice big twist, gaze back. Inhale, center. Yes, let's bring the left foot in. Right leg goes out to the side. Toes pointing up. See, the right toes are switched on. Turn your body towards that extended leg. Nice and tall through the spine, chest, everything tall. Let's fold on the inside of the leg. You can always go over the leg if you want to, but I just don't understand why people ever do. Just whatever you prefer though, it's fine. So I'm not going to be able to go too far down. I mean, it's different for different people. Try not to claw your way down. All we're looking for is a feeling of length and beautiful opening, stretching sensation, safe sensation, the back of the left hip, and maybe up to the back of the left waist, oblique rather. A little bit of opening in the left hip. Just breathe freely, make this feel good. You could have blocks under your head if you prefer. For those who would like to intensify, and actually if you're settling in and softening in nicely, then I would just leave this as you are. But if you're quite far down and you want to, I would say intensify, but it's also multitasking. Just make sure that right foot stays switched on, toes pointing up. You can hook your 2 indexy fingers of your right arm around your right toe. Just your right big toe, press the elbow on the inside of your right shin, wrap your left arm around your waist. You might even be able to put your fingers on your right thigh, palm facing back. Just open up the chest a little bit and you can gaze up. This is not about big postures. This is about small intense. This is a bind technically. I can deal with binds like this. Other types of binds, not so much. This feels nice. The longer I'm in it, the better it feels. Lovely. So we're going to rotate all the way back to look at that right foot. Release your left hand, and depending on where you are, we're going to end up in Lord of the Fishes. If you're able to reach your right foot, just pick up that leg, wrap it around over the top of the left leg. I always have to square up a little bit to make my posture good, but either way, you're either going to end up with your left leg wrapped around you with your right leg over the top, knee lifted, or if this is too tight, you can have your left leg stretched out in front of you in a shoelace. And if this is still too tight, you can untangle your legs. The same posture for everyone. And we're going to take a very nice twist. So it just depends on how tightly bound you want to be today. Sometimes you want more space. So right hand behind, left arm draws up towards the ceiling. You'll be really tall through the crown of the head and making space. When you're ready on an exhale, you're either going to wrap your left arm around your right leg, like so, or you're going to bring your left elbow to the outside of your right knee and twist to the right. Now, see, I can do this, but I would prefer to hug today because it just feels a bit more spacious. Sometimes it's not about what you can do, it's about how it feels. And even though the elbow is there, I could do that, the intensity of sensation in my right hip, which you can't see, but I can feel, was way too high. And my right hip is not stable with minutes. So this feels really good. Breathe. Do like this posture, and I like how variable it is, how there's a version of it available for everyone. And so now we're going to open this twist. Don't do it very often, actually. We're going to inhale to center, and I'm going to take my left hand behind me, and I'm just going to loosely take my hand around my right ankle, right hand around right ankle. I'm just going to stay very tall and slightly rotate my chest to the left. It's a much smaller movement, this one. You can turn your head to the left if you want. Really nice. And let's come back to center. Yeah, that felt good, actually. I'm going to switch sides. So you can just flip your legs over, or you can do this little crabwise maneuver where you sort of roll around and wrap the legs the opposite direction. I can't describe it, and I'm not going to try. So we're just going to do that whole sequence backwards now. So now you've got your right leg either wrapped around you or extended in front of you, left leg bent, foot flat on the floor, and either your foot can be over the top of the right leg or lined up next to it, whatever makes sense for you. We'll take the left hand behind, draw the right arm up, really nice and tall, lengthening through the crown of the head. And remember, you can either hug your knee, or you can take your elbow to the outside of the knee. So let's just see. You can try both if you're not sure. See, that feels today, the hugging feels better for me. Probably when I do this in my class later on, I'll be ready and primed to do the other variation. We'll see. We'll see. Just keep breathing. If you're doing your abdominal work, twists are a great place to engage your abdomen, Uddiyana Bandha, firming or scooping the lower abdomen and the pelvic floor. You do notice the different sensation, but you don't always want to. So it's just what feels good. Okay, let's inhale to center. I'm going to take the left leg out to the side, right leg, fold it in. Of course, you could be sitting on a cushion for all of this. I find with these movements, a cushion is not really that strictly necessary. It's more about whether you want one or not. Let's turn towards your outstretched leg, toes pointing up on the left leg. Take a deep breath in and exhale. Let's fold just on the inside of that leg. And this, for me, I know is going to be a smaller movement. We're just going to do this in the right order. So I don't want to do the twist and the chest opener before we fold it, because I want to get this fold nice and comfortable. Do not push and pull. You can relax your neck. You can relax your shoulders. Don't try and hold on to anything or claw the mat. If you are the kind of person who tends to claw the mat and pull, place your hands lightly on the mat, just closer to your body than you need to. Turn the palms up and let your body work do its thing. Try and stop trying to, I think the key is a feeling of depth in postures doesn't come by pushing, it comes by releasing. If you try to stretch yourself into a posture, you never get that length in the muscles that you need. So that's what we need to do here, is to relax, and you'll find it. If you don't relax, you won't find it. So if you fancy that twist on this side, I'm going to give it a go. I'm not convinced. Index fingers of the left hand wrap around the big toe on the left foot. The left elbow pressing against the left shin, not the knee. Right arm wraps around your back with the palm facing behind you. You might be able to place your hand on your thigh. I can already feel this is not, I don't think it's going to work for me. And then you can rotate your right shoulder back and gaze up. So I'm not, but you can. So you'll be in a more open twist there. My right hip will not allow me to do that. I'm just going to loosen the spine a little bit. So it's not, we all have to do it. We all have to work with what we've got, and always remembering that when you work with what you've got, quite often you, because you're being careful and compassionate with your body, there's a sense of safety that comes with all of your movements. The healing happens more quickly, not just because you're not hammering yourself, but because your body knows it's in safe hands when you move. So you're less likely to seize up. Lovely. Let's walk the hands back in. Ooh. We are going to come back. And so let's keep this all seated and back lying today. This seems to be the natural thing. Keep the feet about hip distance apart, knees stable, steady. Just finishing off now. So hands come forward, exhale, roll down onto your back carefully. Once again, take the arms up, lengthen the legs out, point the toes up, a good stretch. Spread the fingers wide, spread the toes wide. Here's a good morning stretch, and oh my gosh, I love these. A little yawn. Feels so nice. Really good. Bring the hands back down, bend the knees. We're going to pull the left knee in, or the right knee, sorry, right knee in, hug that right knee in. Bring it in towards your rib cage, a little bit out, and then out to the side if you want to. I like to go a little bit wider on these. Let's do some more curl ups out. I'm going to scoop my belly in. You don't have to if you don't want to. As you exhale, forehead and knee come together, no strain in the shoulders. Inhale down. So after all that work we did in boat pose, scooping the belly here does not feel like any effort at all, but that's me. I'm going to do two more. So I think it'll be 5 in total. We'll switch sides. So for me, this is just nice. When you're ready, switch sides. You can have your opposite leg bent if you need to. Exhale, squeeze. Curl ups are really always optional. I mean, everything in the yoga class is optional, isn't it? You kind of cherry pick what works, but sometimes you do have to challenge yourself. Postures that feel hard, they're actually the sense of progression is so wonderful when you allow yourself to do the version of the posture that actually makes sense for you. You suddenly find yourself doing the version, 2 more, I think, maybe 3. You suddenly find yourself doing more intensive versions, and that was the case with me in boat pose for a long time. Last one, just for luck, I think I've done too many on this side, doesn't matter. Both knees come in, take the knees out wide, have a little rock from side to side, hands behind the thighs, just getting into the hips a little bit here, winding down. So hopefully those curl ups felt quite nice. This wind down, it's like we peaked with all that boat work. So the work we've done, even though it may not have been so strength oriented, it's still quite strong work. So we're just winding down.
Make some hip circles, hands resting on knees, circle the knees out. Go slowly, go carefully. And then back in, opposite way. So happy baby coming up. If you know you don't like happy baby or you need a strap for it, go ahead, grab your strap. Or you can just do wide leg knees to chest if you prefer. So otherwise, hands around the outer edge, either behind the thighs, shins, ankles, outer edges of the feet or big toes, whatever suits you. I actually quite fancy outer edges of the feet today. Draw those knees back and wide around the ribcage. Have a little rock if you want to. It's nice, nice. I've got a very bony, spine, which is a weird thing to say, but I always find this for me is quite a little bit of a weird sensation sometimes because I can feel my vertebrae pressing into the mat. My mat is hard, it's quite a hard mat. So it's a new sensation. I always used to have a lot more padding. Right, I'm just going to wrap my fingers around my big toes. I'm just going to lengthen out the legs a little bit. This doesn't work for everyone. It doesn't feel good for everyone, but if you don't like it, you can do one leg at a time, or you can put your left foot on the floor, lengthen up your right leg, the sole pressing up towards the ceiling, and weave your hands around the back of the thigh for a hamstring stretch. I'll just show you that. That looks like this. So you're doing one leg at a time. And this is beautiful, beautiful, beautiful stretch. I want to do both because it feels good. So if you're doing that, then do that variation. Left leg down, right leg pressing up towards the ceiling, sole, heel pressing up. Weave your hands to your strap around the back of your right thigh, lengthen up the leg. Have a few breaths there, and then switch sides. So that's what you do. This is hamstring stretches. These are different approaches to hamstring stretches. In classes, we are very mindful of people's hamstrings, to be careful. So it's quite unusual for me to be dealing with people with long hamstrings and to be able to do these postures, which is why I like to do them in the videos. So if you need to switch sides on your other hamstring stretch, bend the left leg, so I'm just showing you now, bend the left knee, put the foot on the flat on the floor, lengthen up the right leg, hands weave behind the right thigh, press the heel up and chest press up. Enjoy that hamstring stretch and feel how strong the thighs are. You've got your hands woven. You need to use a strap if your head and your shoulders are lifting off the mat because the upper body can stay relaxed. Have a few more breaths. I'm just going to have a little bit longer. In my wide leg happy baby. Wherever you are, hamstring stretch is what you're doing, should be doing right now. Either this variation, one leg at a time in this variation, which can be one leg in, one leg out, or your normal leg stretch. One more breath. Let's bring the legs back to center. Arms go out wide. Wherever you are, you can have your feet flat on the floor or knees in towards the chest. We're going to take a twist. So whichever variation of a twist that you like. If your abs are still warm, you can switch them on. Exhale and slowly lower your knees over to the right. And I can count you down if you want, but you don't need me to. If you do this slowly and with control, you'll know that your abdominal muscles are doing it. The slower you move, the more control, the more effort. So lower those knees down to the ground, to the right, turn your palms up, the arms outstretched. You can turn your head to the left if you want. Check you're comfortable. Both shoulders need to be down and the legs need to be relaxed and resting. If you're sort of floating, hovering, tense, and not able to relax, then loosen this posture. Release the knees, release the feet, take them further away from the body. If you're feeling pretty good, you can put your right hand on top of your left thigh and just gently, just rest the hand there with the elbow on the floor. It'll feel quite nice. You can also tighten the posture if you want. Sometimes tightening the posture takes you away from sensation, so go carefully. Breathe.
And just so you know, because you can spend much longer in these twists if you want, the next movement is going to be the banana stretch, then the good morning stretch, and then we're done with some breathing. So you take as long as you want with your twists because they feel really good. Otherwise, you're going to take the arms out wide, both of them again. Exhale and either walk your feet to center or use your abs to lift your knees back towards your chest, and exhale to control. Very controlled way, lower the knees over to the left. And then adjust so that you are really comfortable. Shoulders are down. Nice feeling of spiraling in the abdomen. This is how we're stretching our abdomen, so it must be comfortable. You can separate the knees and the feet if you want. Left hand resting on top of the right thigh if that feels good for you. Turn the head if that feels good for you. Have about 5 breaths. Really good. As I say, as long as you need, I'm going to take my left arm out wide, walk the feet back to center. Banana stretches. So let's lengthen out the legs. I'm just finishing as we started. Lengthen out the arms, left wrist in right hand, left ankle over right, wiggle your upper body over to the right. You might just find this feels a bit more available, or depending on how warm you actually are, this might feel a bit less available. If you've already cooled down a lot, then you might be feeling a little bit stiff. Just make sure your stretches give you what you need. And I would say we're winding up here because I think this is exactly right for this practice. But if you feel like boat pose really hammered your thighs, then you do need to do a quad stretch. So you must finish off, you must make time for a quad stretch as well, and a hip flexor. So you could do lunges, or you could do your standard quad stretches, standing, lying down, or lying on your side, whatever you want. You must do them. When you're ready, shuffle to center, switch sides, over the other way. Yeah, feels good, feels good, feels good. Oh, it's a bit much. So this is really the epitome of a hands-free abdominal strengthening class. So really you're not using your hands in any major way. Shuffling back to center. Taking the arms out wide. Position your feet, your legs, wherever feels good for you for relaxation. We're just going to have 5 breaths. You take as long as you want for Shavasana. As always, Shavasana is your time. Take it the way you need it to be. So I'm just going to take my arms away from the body, arms wide, a little wider, legs a little wider. You can take your arms and legs wherever you want. Knees can be bent. You can have your legs up the wall if that feels good. Any variation on corpse pose, Shavasana, that you want. I'm just going to have a few deep breaths. In through the nose, expand belly in the abdomen. And as you exhale, preferably through the mouth, let it all go. And you can just have a few breaths at your own natural pace now, settling.
and spend as long as you like in your relaxation. I hope you enjoyed a little burst of strength. Have a great day, and I'll see you later. Don't forget to do those quads if your thighs really hurt during boat pose. See you later.